On December 4, 1872, the British brig Dei Gratia spotted a ship sailing erratically through the Atlantic, halfway between the Azores and Portugal. She was the Mary Celeste, a two-masted brigantine 1 month out of New York, bound for Genoa, Italy. Her sails were set. Her cargo, 1,700 barrels of industrial alcohol, was secure below deck. But when the crew of the Dei Gratia boarded her, they found something that made no sense. 10 people were gone, no captain, no crew, no passengers. Something changed everything aboard this ship, and no one who witnessed it was left to explain. 153 years later, the historical record ends where the mystery begins. This is Vanished Threads, and this is the Mary Celeste. Follow for the full story. The Mary Celeste left New York Harbor on November 7, 1872. Captain Benjamin Briggs, a devout and experienced sailor, commanded her. With him were his wife Sarah, their 2-year-old daughter Sophia, and a crew of 7 experienced seamen. For 17 days the voyage was unremarkable. The captain's final log entry, dated November 25th, placed her near the Azores. The weather was fair. The ship was in good condition. Then on December 4th, she was found. What followed was one of the most scrutinized maritime investigations in history. Salvage hearings in Gibraltar, press coverage across 2 continents, and theories that persist to this day. In 2006, a forensic chemist at University College London conducted an experiment that changed how investigators understood the case. In the 2020s, a team at Manchester University replicated it with even greater precision. The Mary Celeste, it seems, still has secrets. Benjamin Briggs was 37 years old. He came from a seafaring family in Massachusetts. By 1872, he had captained ships across the Atlantic more than a dozen times. His wife Sarah was 30. She had sailed with him before. This voyage was different only because of who traveled with them. Their daughter Sophia was 2 years old. She was, by all accounts, the light of her father's life. He wrote to his mother that he was bringing his family because he could not bear to be parted from them. The crew was hand-picked. Albert Richardson, the first mate, was a capable navigator. The others, Andrew Gilling, Edward Head, Volkert Lorenzen, Ariane Martens, Gottlieb Gaudschal and Bos Lorenzen, were experienced Dutch and German seamen. On November 7th, they loaded 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol, a volatile industrial solvent, into the hold. The cargo was worth roughly $35,000 in today's money. The ship itself was valued at another $14,000. Briggs wrote to his mother before departure, "Our vessel is in beautiful trim, and I hope we shall have a fine passage." For 17 days the log recorded routine progress, fair winds, good speed, no incidents. On November 24th, Briggs noted they were within sight of Santa Maria Island in the Azores. The next day, November 25th, his final entry, lat. 36 degrees 56 N long, 27 degrees 20 W, moderate breeze and clear sky. That was the last word from the Mary Celeste. What happened in the next 9 days, between that routine log entry and the ship's discovery, is the central mystery. Benjamin Briggs never saw his family again. Sarah never held her daughter on dry land. Sophia, 2 years old, disappeared into the Atlantic without a trace. The Briggs family had already suffered tragedy. Their son Arthur had died of smallpox 3 years earlier. Benjamin had written that this voyage was meant to be a new beginning. By the time the Dei Gratia found their ship, whatever hope they had carried with them had vanished with them. On December 4, 1872, Captain David Morehouse of the Dei Gratia spotted a ship roughly 6 miles off his port bow. She was sailing erratically, yawing sails improperly set, not responding to wind. Morehouse sent first mate Oliver DeVoe and second mate John Wright to investigate. What they found has been debated for a century and a half. Today, many investigators believe an alcohol vapor explosion drove the crew from the ship. But the evidence DeVoe found made that theory look impossible. The hatches were on, the ship was dry, and 10 people had vanished into a lifeboat, never to be seen again. The ship was seaworthy. The sails were set, though poorly. The rigging was damaged but repairable. The cargo, all 1,700 barrels, was undisturbed. In the captain's cabin, DeVoe found the ship's papers scattered but intact. Briggs's navigational instruments were missing. His sextant, his chronometer, beneath his berth, still in its scabbard, lay his sword. Its blade carried faint reddish stains. Investigators would later test them. They weren't blood. Food stores remained aboard. The galley appeared orderly. Nothing suggested a frantic evacuation. The only thing missing was the ship's yawl, a small lifeboat capable of carrying perhaps 10 people. Its ropes had been cut, not untied. It was gone, and with it every soul aboard. The ship had taken on roughly 3.5 feet of water. Not enough to threaten her, but enough to suggest she had been abandoned for some time. The pump was disassembled, as if someone had been trying to repair it. No signs of violence, no distress signal, no message in a bottle. The one piece of evidence that looked like blood, the stains on Briggs's sword, was tested and ruled out. Just a ship sailing on empty. The Dei Gratia crew sailed the Mary Celeste to Gibraltar, where a salvage court convened. The hearings lasted 3 months. Investigators searched for evidence of foul play, insurance fraud, even piracy. They found nothing. The court's final verdict: there is not sufficient evidence to explain what happened. The crew of the Dei Gratia received a reduced salvage award. Their story suspected, their integrity questioned, though never proven false. The evidence of the Mary Celeste is a study in contradictions. Everything suggests normalcy. Everything suggests abandonment. Nothing explains why both are true. Those 9 barrels may be the most important clue in the entire mystery. The cargo, 1,701 barrels of denatured alcohol, is central to every theory. 9 barrels were empty. The rest were full and sealed. The question is, what happened to those 9? Central node Mary Celeste, 10 people vanished. Evidence nodes connected by white lines. Seaworthy ship. Cargo intact, personal belongings undisturbed, no blood tested in damp, ruled out. No violence, no fire damage, lifeboat missing, cut ropes, no distress signal, 3 feet of water in hold, pump disassembled, 9 alcohol barrels empty, rest sealed, navigational instruments missing, sword stains tested, not blood, log ends November 25th, found December 4th, 9 days unaccounted, weather fair to moderate, no storms recorded. Denatured alcohol releases invisible vapor. Under the right conditions, that vapor can ignite without setting the ship itself on fire. Those 9 empty barrels may hold the only physical explanation for why 10 people left a sound ship. In 2006, a chemist at University College London recreated the exact conditions of the Mary Celeste's hold. Everyone expected flames. Instead, something impossible happened. Andrea Seller used butane and paper cubes to simulate alcohol vapor in a replica hold. The vapor ignited, but there was no fire, no scorching, no burn marks, just a pressure wave. A sudden violent expansion of air that blew open the hatch, deafened anyone nearby, and created the absolute conviction that the ship was about to explode. More than a century after the ship vanished, another team asked the same question. Would the experiment work again? It did. A Manchester University team replicated Seller's work with actual wood and ethanol at 1/18th scale. Their findings confirmed what Seller had demonstrated. A vapor explosion could panic a crew without leaving evidence visible days later. But this theory has problems. The hatches were on when the Dei Gratia arrived. The cargo was undisturbed, and if the crew feared explosion, why did they take no navigational instruments, no provisions, no water? The yawl could hold 10 people, barely. It had no sail, only oars in the open Atlantic. That was a death sentence. Experienced sailors like Briggs would have known this, so why abandon the mothership? No surviving weather record places the Mary Celeste inside a storm powerful enough to justify abandoning ship. The sea was moderate, the winds were favorable, there was no natural disaster to flee. And then there is the human evidence. Briggs was a cautious captain. He had his wife and daughter aboard. He would not have abandoned ship without overwhelming cause. Yet no cause is visible in the record. Theory 1. The leading theory: alcohol vapor accumulated in the hold and ignited, creating a pressure wave that convinced the crew the ship was about to explode. They launched the yawl to wait at a safe distance, but the ship drifted away faster than they could row back. Andrea Seller's 2006 experiments, confirmed by Manchester University's replication, support this. The pressure wave would explain the open hold, the lack of fire damage, the crew's panic, but it does not explain why they took no provisions, no compass, no way to navigate. Theory 2. Mutiny. Mutiny was seriously considered. The Gibraltar court's own advocate Solly Flood pursued it aggressively. The reddish stains on Briggs's sword looked like evidence of violence, but when tested they weren't blood. No crew member had motive, Briggs was respected, and nothing was stolen. Theory 3. Natural events. A waterspout or underwater seismic event could have struck the ship. A waterspout could deposit water in the hold, damage rigging and create panic. A seaquake could produce a phenomenon called a rogue bubble, releasing methane gas that disorients crew. But no surviving record places a waterspout in the area, and a seismic event strong enough to panic experienced sailors would likely have been logged by nearby ships. None was. Other theories persist. Piracy, though nothing was taken. Insurance fraud, though the cargo was worth more than the ship and both were recovered. Sea monsters and paranormal explanations which require evidence that does not exist. The salvage court awarded the Dei Gratia crew roughly 1/6 of the ship and cargo's value, a fraction of what they would have received if foul play had been ruled out. Captain Morehouse spent the rest of his life suspected of conspiracy. He died in 1892. His reputation never fully cleared. Perhaps the most unsettling fact isn't that a ship was found abandoned in the Atlantic. It's that after 153 years of investigations, court hearings, forensic studies and speculation, no surviving document answers why 10 people, including a 2-year-old girl named Sophia, would leave a perfectly sound vessel in calm seas, never to be seen again. The Mary Celeste was eventually sold, sailed under new names and wrecked off Haiti in 1885. Her captain, Benjamin Briggs, was declared legally dead in 1879. His wife and daughter were never found. The Mary Celeste did not fade from memory. In 1884, a young doctor named Arthur Conan Doyle published a fictional account that introduced the name Marie Celeste, a spelling error that persists to this day. His story added details that never happened: a warm meal, a bloody sword hanging on a wall, a deranged survivor. Fiction replaced fact in the public imagination. Since then, the Mary Celeste has become a symbol of ghost ships, of unexplained disappearance, of the sea's power to erase human presence without explanation. It has inspired novels, films, documentaries, and speculation that continues in the comment sections of videos like this one. So what do modern investigators believe? The leading explanation today combines several factors: alcohol vapor creating the impression of imminent explosion, a malfunctioning pump suggesting the ship was taking on water, and navigational uncertainty that may have convinced Briggs his vessel was less sound than it actually was. But it's a leading hypothesis, not a settled consensus. No theory explains every piece of evidence. No theory accounts for the missing lifeboat, the cut ropes, and the empty Atlantic. Every plank of the Mary Celeste was searched, every log was examined, every theory debated, but perhaps the answer never remained on the ship at all. Perhaps it drifted away in a small wooden yawl and disappeared into the Atlantic forever. If this mystery haunts you the way it haunts us, subscribe to Vanished Threads. We dig into the stories that refuse to stay buried. Some stories stay buried, we dig anyway.